Hey guys, this is Booligan with Airsoft Retreat, BooliganAirsoft.com, and Airsoft Insider Magazine. Today we're going to take a very long overdue video look at a gun that I reviewed years ago, the Echo One XCR. A little history of the XCR. It was a contender for the U.S. Army's new rifle program a couple years ago. Ended up getting adopted. But interestingly enough, these are actually manufactured about 5 or 6 miles away from my house here in Utah. So it's kind of a local gun for me, and I'm a big fan of the design, always have been. When Echo One announced that they were coming out with one years and years ago, I knew I had to do what I needed to do to be one of the first ones on the block, and this was actually one of the first ones in private hands in the United States. This gun is sold and designed by Echo One, manufactured by VFC. VFC is the factory that built it. Currently, there are 2 versions of this gun. However, at the time of writing, there was only one. The 2 versions of this gun are the metal version and the polymer version. This is the metal version, and there are some key differences between the two. The metal version, obviously, is made of metal. It's OEM'd by VFC, and it has a couple of features that really differentiate it from the polymer version. First off, it's got a special gearbox design. It is a split custom gearbox design, so you can take the upper portion off from the lower for easy spring change and stuff like that. Second, the metal version comes with this folding stock design, which we'll look at a little bit more in a second, and is set up to run either a very custom internal battery pack or it comes with a battery box. I currently have mine set up for an internal battery. We'll do a quick rate of fire test a little later using a different battery because my internal battery, turns out, is dead. And so we'll test it out with a different battery to kind of show you guys what kind of performance this thing has. Currently I'm fitting it with an Echo One SOG 68 straight magazine because it looks awesome. Kind of looks like a mini FAL. Some of the features of this gun that you'll notice: has a folding stock. Doesn't have anything to lock into on this side, but I mean, it's on there solid. And when locked, very, very snug. The whole gun, if you look at it, very, very slim. It's not a fat gun. And it's pretty compact, and everything kind of falls right where it needs to be. You have controls that are very similar to an AR platform rifle. You've got a left-sided selector switch. You've got a magazine release located on the right side. There is not one on the left side. You do have an ambidextrous slide catch release. You'll look by pulling the large cocking handle back, opens up the pulls back the faux bolt carrier, and you have a rotary adjustable hop up to release that. Push this down. There you go. Clicks it forward. You have a monolithic upper design. It's one piece, so there's no wobble, and you have a full metal outer barrel and gas tube assembly that can be removed just by taking this one screw out and pulling the whole thing out. 14mm negative threaded barrel. So you can add whatever accessories you want. The gun does not come with iron sights. I've included a T1 type optic on mine. And it has a slimline pistol grip, and changing the pistol grips on these is a little bit trickier than on some other guns because of the special gearbox design. But check the internet, there are a couple of guides on how to do it. Performance-wise, my example was shooting right about 365 feet per second using a .20 gram BB, and my range wasn't bad. I mean, it's a relatively short-barreled gun, but it has really good hop-up design, and I was getting easily out to 160, 175 feet accuracy with decent ammunition, obviously. I really love the way the thing just points and shoots. You throw an AFG on the front, and you have a nice little spot to rest your thumb instead of going over the rail, because it does have this elevated top section here. But the gun just points and shoots incredibly well. It's really one of my favorite gun designs. The biggest flaws with this version, the biggest issue of all, is the battery. It doesn't come with the battery, and you have very limited battery space inside the gun. I had to do it's a 7.4 volt LiPo split cell, and it still barely even fits in there. You can't even really pull the charging handle back with it in there. Echo One does make a custom 11.1 volt LiPo pack that'll fit in there. Very small pack, so that's an option. Otherwise, you have to run a battery box, which I'm not a fan of. I hate battery boxes. I think they look terrible all the time. So that's why I have mine set up for internal use. The other issue, some users have reported electrical issues, trigger contacts going out, that whole trigger contact assembly. I'm on my original set. I haven't had a problem with it, and I've had tens of thousands of rounds through this gun. And honestly, I've had to crack the gearbox once to do the review, and that's it. I mean, the things just run pretty well for me. So your mileage may vary, obviously. Every gun is different, but these are some things that you probably should know about the gun. Let's go ahead and we'll split the take the upper receiver off, which is toolless. You just have to push a pin out, and we'll take a look at the rate of fire that this thing can give you. Okay, they have the gun split into two pieces. As you can see, monolithic upper houses your inner and outer barrel assemblies, your inner barrel and pop-up adjusters there. And go ahead and set that aside for now. I've shortened my wiring harness a lot and installed a Dean's plug. This is my internal LiPo. It's a small ComPower pack that was an 11.1 volt pack, but one of the cells got damaged, so I had to shrink down to a 2-cell pack. But this one's dead, so we're not going to be able to do too much of a test. However, I will show you what it'll do with an 11.1 volt ComPower battery. When you have a battery that has plenty of juice behind it, this thing certainly runs very well. So your firing modes are pretty basic. You have safe, semi-auto, and full auto. And the thing buzzes along very well on full auto. So let's go ahead and put it back together and take a closer look at how much this thing costs, comparison with the polymer model, and we'll go from there. Okay, how much this thing costs. It's an expensive gun. It's OEM'd by VFC, and it has fully licensed trademarks and a very good warranty through Echo One. It is a $400 gun. There are a few versions of it that are full metal, black, tan, and then there's one with an extended outer barrel. And they're all right around $400. The polymer model, which uses a standard version 2 gearbox, polymer body, and has like a crane stock for, frankly, I prefer that for better battery usage. That one's cheaper. That one's less than $200, about $195, and you can get it in short and long. So, I mean, that's certainly an option if you like the XCR look, but just keep in mind they are not the same gun. Between the full metal version and the polymer version, there are quite a few differences between the two, so understand that going into it. Other than that, it really is one of my favorite gun designs. I really love the thing. I just wish that the battery solution was a little bit better, but when you're dealing with something that's this compact, it has this small of internal space, it's totally understandable that you're not going to be able to shove, big old 11.1 volt brick LiPo pack in it. It makes sense. But like I said, you can get the 11.1 volt LiPo that'll fit in this through Echo One, so that's certainly an option if you want to run an internal LiPo. Be sure to check out the full review on Airsoft Retreat and BooliganAirsoft.com, and as always, thanks for watching.